Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Dr. Butler Walks Around Her Yard and Talks About Plants. This week, we are paying a special visit to my overgrown garden bed. You might be saying to yourself, but Dr. Butler, you are a plant scientist. Doesn't that mean you should have a beautiful flower bed? There are some important distinctions that need to be made here. See, a botanist is someone who studies how plants grow, while a horticulturist is someone who studies how to actually grow plants. So though I might be able to tell you how photosynthesis occurs or cell division occurs, I might not really be able to keep a garden bed free of weeds and beautiful and blooming. In particular, I specialize in plant pathology, which is the study of, how plants die and how they try not to. And that's going to be today's topic on Dr. Butler Walks Around Her Yard and Talks About Plants. Now this week, I found my first plant disease of the season, and I got really excited, which is probably why I'm also not a very good horticulturist, is because I get really excited when my plants get sick. But the disease that I found in my yard this week was powdery mildew on grass. Powdery mildew is a fungal disease that gets its name because the leaves that are infected have a powdery substance on them. That powdery substance are actually fungal spores, which are the reproductive structures of the fungus that will blow around and infect other grass plants. In order to get disease, you need three things. You need a susceptible host, so a host, a plant that can get sick, a virulent pathogen, a pathogen that is able to infect that plant, and a conducive environment. In this case, powdery mildew likes cooler conditions, which is why it's really common to find on grass in the fall and in the spring. Now, plants aren't just hung out to dry when it comes to plant disease. And while they might not have immune systems like you and I, they do have their own form of immunity. They also produce chemicals as a line of defense to prevent against herbivores or pathogens. Some of these chemicals, such as caffeine or capsaicin, the compound that makes spicy food spicy, are really important to humans. Some of those compounds are found in mint plants. In fact, those are why mint plants smell minty. These compounds are in a class called monoterpenes that are produced in special cells called glandular trichomes on the leaves of the mint plant that, when they are broken, are released. They can prevent herbivores from eating the plant and help maybe even prevent against bacterial or fungal infections. Mint plants are really interesting because you can identify them by their square stem. They also have a tendency to take over garden beds because they can reproduce through rhizomes, which are underground stems that will spread and spread and spread no matter how often you try to pull them. So I've just decided to let them win. Now I'm really excited to be talking about plant disease this week because this Saturday on April 25th is the ancient festival of Robigalia. Hi there. Robigalia is an ancient Roman festival held on April 25th where citizens would offer sacrifices to the god Robigus, the god of rust, mildew, and blight. They would offer these sacrifices as an attempt to appease the gods to spare their crops from disease this year. They would sometimes even run chariot races. This just goes to show that plant disease is something that humans have been fighting for generations. And it's still so important that this year, 2020, was declared by the United Nations the International Year of Plant Health. That's all I've got for you this week. Thanks for tuning in to Dr. Butler Walks Around Her Yard and Talks About Plants.